near like companies.
Did you hear that message about recording?
Yeah, that's from me.
Ah, okay. That was funny. Suddenly it got cut off. So you were asking why Tilburg, because specifically you're interested in business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, in the Netherlands, it was already mentioned in the general presentation, we've got a very high level of education. So in theory, you could study any subject anywhere where it's offered and you would get a good level degree. The only thing that sets universities apart is things like, the environment, but also in terms of how well they are known for things. And Tilburg University together with Erasmus are the two that are most well known for economics and business. So we are both really at the forefront of academic research in these fields, which also means that we are able to attract professors who are really specialized in these fields. So yes, you can study business somewhere else, not a problem. But when you choose Tilburg University, you'll know that we are very well ranked in this field. And it also means we can attract professors who are very also one of the few liberal arts and sciences programs that have business as one of their majors. There are a couple of others, but it's very limited. So most liberal arts and sciences programs don't offer the option to do a major in business.
Yes, I've noticed that too with other LAS universities that offer university colleges, and they usually just name their economics, their business major as economics, which I don't really relate to. I'm particularly more interested in business management, which I think Tilburg has a program with it. And I really like LAS in Tilburg as well because they allow in the third year, I believe, there's like an AI studying and like big data science, which really.
Yeah, we do have a department also that specializes in cognitive science and artificial intelligence. So there's more of data science there. And what we're also noticing is that actually that field is becoming more and more popular. So we see a lot of students going for a master's in data science and society, which is for students who don't necessarily have a data science background, but they can get into the data science masters that way. So that's probably something you did see on the website, which is a very interesting option as well. I'm just going to see if we don't have a chat specifically for this breakout room, do we? Because normally I like to kind of chat, allow people to chat as well, because we cannot all talk at the same time. But yeah, are there other people here in the room who also have questions? I want to make sure that everyone has a chance. Trying to get rid of my taskbar. Computer is very slow today. Did you have any more questions? I think it was.
Meda.
Meda, there we go. Do you have more questions that you'd like to ask?
I guess my last question would be like, because I come from a international school background, so I took A-levels, Cambridge. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if I need to take another IELTS exam for applying direct entry for ALIS.
No, when you have A-levels, you don't have to take an English language test. So you already meet the English language requirement. The main thing you have to do for liberal arts and science is submit a motivation letter and an essay. And then there will also be a interview as well. Sorry.
I also would like to ask for the interview. Does it happen usually in like the next year, like January or February, or like this year specifically?
The interview itself, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about the interview.
That will take place usually somewhere after you have applied. They will start scheduling it. They start usually in December or something. So if you apply already in October, you might have to wait until December, January when they start scheduling the first ones. But that's roughly when they start. So if you wait to apply later, they'll interview everyone. So if you apply right before the deadline, then the interview will take place a little bit later in the year. So I do always encourage people to apply early. I think
Yeah.
that's
So you were saying the motivation letter and essay, is that like a different thing or the same thing?
They're two different things. So the essay is about a topic that you can show that you're interested in and that you would like to learn more about, or you can show your critical thinking skills about something that you've learned in school, for example, whereas the motivation letter is more about why did you want to choose this particular program? Why Tilburg University? Why do you think you would be a good fit? So that's more your motivation for the particular program, whereas the essay is more about showing off your skills that you already have and your interests as well. I think I actually see.
Okay, that's really great to hear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for switching on your mic. It's always nice to hear a voice. And I see some chat messages, which I'm gonna assume are only visible in this breakout room.
Let me read it for you.
Sure.
Okay. So the first question is from Adi Shahreza. He said that, hi, I need more information for MSc Research Master in Economics.
Okay, yes. I cannot really do much with that question because I don't know what kind of information you're looking for. I can talk about the Research Master a little bit. It's a really cool program that is a 2-year program where the focus is more on academic research. And a lot of students do the Research Master in Economics in order to get into a PhD degree. We have scholarships for students from outside the EU as well. So your tuition fee is waived to the EU fee, which is only 2,000 euros. So it's a very appealing fee, but it's a very selective program as well. If you have very specific questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I don't always know every detail about every program, but I can try to help. There is a lot of comprehensive information available on the website as well. So that might be helpful for you as well to check out.
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to ask you about your Law and Tech program. Does it have a placement component or mentorship as part of the curriculum, or any opportunities for such?
That is a difficult question because I don't know exactly what every single master's program organizes in that sort of level of detail. I know that a lot of our master's coordinators have a lot of connections to practice, and they really try to encourage students to engage with practice. They often also bring guest lecturers into the classroom. But to what extent there's really a mentorship program, I'm not 100% sure, I'm afraid. I would have to check out whether any information about that is on the website, but otherwise you can always send an email. When you go to tilburguniversity.edu/contact us, it is sent to my colleagues who try to answer questions within about 48 hours, and they might be able to forward it also to a student from the Law and Technology program. So I think that level of detail, they'll be able to definitely tell you more about their experiences. Yeah, sorry about that. It would be great if I had an answer to everything.
Maybe it's too detailed. I have a question. How about the, if you don't mind, what's the accommodation situation and general lifestyle around the university? Is it like a university town, or
Yeah, so Tilburg is really a university town. The total population in the town is about 200,000 people, and 1 in 7 is a student. So it's really a student town. There are a couple of arranged accommodations. The university doesn't own its own accommodation. None of the universities in the Netherlands do, but we have lots of collaborations with different organizations. The most notable is Talent Square, which is right in the city center, and it houses almost exclusively international students. One thing that is important to know is that housing is not guaranteed because we do not have sufficient reserved housing for everyone. However, the university is constantly expanding that as well. So we're working hard to expand the pre-reserved accommodation options for next year. So hopefully that gives you an indication of what the possibilities are. It's also possible to find housing on the private market, but of course, when you come from far away, especially outside the EU, it's easier to go through these reserved options.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I see there have been quite a few questions in the chat, which I didn't see before because I thought it was the general chat. I apologize. So Diska is asking if there are any prerequisite credits to apply for the data science program. It depends, Diska, on whether you're looking for a bachelor or a master. When you're applying for the bachelor in data science, which is a joint degree with Eindhoven University of Technology, we'll just look at your high school credentials and your math level. So it depends what kind of diploma you have and what kind of math level you've taken. For the master, we also have a couple of different data science programs, and some are more selective than others. Data science and society is a bit more aimed at people who come from different backgrounds. So you don't need to have a strong foundation in data science already, just a small sliver is okay. Whereas data science and entrepreneurship, which is also, again, our joint degree with Eindhoven University of Technology, requires quite a bit of background in mathematics and data science. So those are the differences, I would say. And I see that Mohammed is also interested in data science and entrepreneurship in the joint degree. There are a few scholarships for that program, which actually have been donated from the nuns, from the convent that the school is currently in, but it is limited. So you have to keep that in mind. It's also helpful maybe to go to tilburguniversity.edu/scholarships, because there you can find an overview of the scholarships that we have available. I'm sure a lot of you have done that already, but it's a really helpful website to get more information about scholarships and availabilities. What's also important to be aware of is that the data science and entrepreneurship is a 2-year master, so you have to budget a little bit more for that one. I see that Irma is interested in the Master of Law, and Managa asked about Master of Law and Technology, but I think we already just spoke earlier. So Irma, is there a specific question that you have, or do you want me to just talk about the law degrees at Tilburg University? That's also a possibility. Sorry, everyone, for the delay. I was also kind of trying to figure out how the chat and everything works. And luckily, I don't see any new questions, so hopefully I didn't keep you guys waiting too long. It's maybe nice to talk about the law school that we have at Tilburg University. The law school has a very international focus. There's lots of programs that are really transnational. For example, the law and technology really tries to look at the future of law. And international business law is also a very international program that takes international business into consideration in the law programs. And we've got lots of international students, always a few from Indonesia as well. And I guess you guys are from all kinds of different countries, but it's a really nice mix of students. And I see that Vivian Indonesia is asking, interested to take master's program for marketing and management. Okay. In order to go in the Netherlands, most of the master's degrees in the field of social sciences, law, and business are only 1 year in length. That means that it's really a specialization. So when you start your master's, you have to have a lot of background knowledge already. So if you come from a completely different field, sometimes you indeed cannot be accepted. So it depends a little bit on what field it is. Sometimes it has a different name, but our professors will look at your transcript. And if you have enough knowledge in specific subjects that are related to the thing you want to study, sometimes you can be admitted. Or there's sometimes also an option to do a pre-master, which is an extra 6 months of courses that maybe will help you make that transition. So the admissions officer will assess that. But if you indeed come from a completely different field, let's say if you come from language studies and you want to do a master's in management, usually those students will not be accepted. We do have some other possibilities. For example, within our School of Humanities, we have programs in the field of communication and culture, management of cultural diversity, for example, and they tend to be a little bit more flexible with their admissions. You do have to keep in mind that in the Netherlands, the research universities have quite an academic focus. So we always look for students' backgrounds to have sufficient knowledge of statistics and mathematics and methodology, basically, in order to be considered for the masters. I hope this helps. This guy is asking, is there any requirements such as GRE or GMAT for applying to business and management? For the masters, yes. For programs in the field of business and management, so for example, international management or marketing management, we require a GMAT. And for programs in the field of economics and econometrics, we require a GRE. So if you're applying for business analytics and operations research, or for economics, we require a GRE. In general, we like to see the GMAT and GRE scores already at the moment of application. So you have a couple of months to take that test, and then you can submit it together with your application. There's only one exception if you come from one of our partner universities. So if our School of Economics and Management has an agreement with your School of Economics and Management, then you are exempt from having to take a GMAT or a GRE. Another benefit, maybe interesting for all of you to know, is that if you come from one of our partner universities and it has to be the same school, so business with business, for example, you will also receive a 25% scholarship on your tuition fee. So a 25% discount on your tuition fee. So that's a very interesting thing to keep in mind, maybe. Vivian is asking, will a working experience or maybe taking an online course that aligned with the major help to boost the possibility? I'm afraid that the main thing that they look at is the academics. So they really want you to be prepared for an academic level study in this field. And that's really what they will be looking at. So unfortunately, when you have work experience in a field, it usually is not taken into consideration. If you take an online courses and they are accredited, then I would definitely submit it with your application. But it depends on what type of course and what type of accreditation, whether it's really taken into consideration for your admission, so eligible or not. And since it's early in the year, that's also a recommendation for me. The application system opens on the 1st of October, so you can already start submitting your application by then. And then you'll know whether you are eligible or not. And it gives you some time. Let's say if you are rejected or not accepted for the master, you could then still withdraw your application and apply for another master's program at a different university, for example. So starting early is really helpful in that case as well. I see a question from Koyim. I've already have a master from my home country and still interested in applying for a master in Tilburg. Amazing. 2 masters. That's fantastic. Would I have to submit transcript for just bachelor or also master? I would always recommend to take and have really counted towards all your experience, and the university will take that into consideration when assessing your application. Having done more can never hurt you, so it will never be detrimental to your application. So I definitely would suggest to submit your transcript from your master's as well. Yeah, just gonna plug in because my battery is starting to run low. Ah, you're welcome. Alsjeblieft. It's really nice to see so many of you here. I hope I'm kind of giving you what you were expecting. So I hope I'm answering your questions. We also, I have a link here on the slide, tilburguniversity.edu/keep in touch. If you want to sign up for our mailing list, I recommend that you leave your contact details in that form. We tend to send mailings about things like upcoming virtual events and webinars and application deadlines. So it's really helpful if you want to stay up to date with Tilburg University without having to do all that yourself. Basically, we notify you of everything that you need to know. So that's quite helpful. Are there more questions? Now that it's a bit quiet, I think we can have someone switch on their microphone again if they like. I'm still here for another 15 minutes or so. So this is the time to ask. Any information for PhD possibility? Well, especially considering that you already have a master, I can imagine that you're interested in that. I think Amy explained it very well in the general presentation earlier. I don't know if all of you were there, but basically PhD positions tend to be like jobs in the Netherlands. So You can look for PhD openings and then see if there's any topic that suits your background, and then you can write a proposal. You'll go through a selection procedure, and if you are accepted, it's actually like being on payroll. So you get paid, I wouldn't say minimum wage, but in the beginning you get close to minimum wage, but it goes up in the next year, of course. So it's a very appealing opportunity, but because it's so well funded, we're really looking for top talent. So it is quite selective. It's quite difficult to get into a PhD program. What a lot of students do is they do a master's or even a research master, because a research master is a better preparation for a PhD degree. And that's how they then make connections within the university, and that's how they apply for the PhD programs usually. So it is one of the smoother roads. There's also a possibility to be an external PhD candidate if you can find a supervisor who is willing to supervise you. So there are students who are abroad and writing their thesis there, and then they have contact with their supervisor digitally to help them with their progress. So that's something that might be interesting for you guys as well. Sorry. Any more questions? Don't know if you guys can move around the breakout rooms freely or not. I don't see a lot of people coming in and out, so maybe you had to pick one university. Probably Aisha can tell me more about that.
Oh yeah. So if you done with your question, you can move to the other breakout room for the other university.
Okay. Thanks for explaining.
You're welcome.
Yeah, then we have Vivian is asking, would you mind sharing about the pre-master program? Should I get accepted into masters, then apply for pre-masters or otherwise? Very good question. So the way it works is that you would apply for the masters that you're interested in. And then if you cannot be admitted directly because you have some deficiencies or because your background doesn't fully match with what's needed for the master's program, then the admissions office will accept you for the pre-master instead. You then have to do some administrative steps to change your registration. So we have this national registration system, StudyLink. What you would then do is take out your registration and put in a new registration for the pre-masters of that program. But you always apply first for direct entry to the master, because that's the target after all. So hopefully that helps. Kind of curious where you guys are from. You're welcome, Vivian. Feel free to chat or to type in the chat where you're from, because I'm kind of curious, because it seems like it's really people from all over the world. So that's quite nice to be speaking to people from so many different time zones at the same time. Vivian from Indonesia, great. I love Indonesia. I did an internship actually when I was a student, which is a long time ago, 15 years ago or something, in Yogyakarta. I was working in a school, so I have a special place in my heart for Indonesia.
Oh, that's so nice. So
yeah,
how do you feel with Yogyakarta?
Oh, it was fantastic. I really loved it. It's such a nice city, and I really enjoyed working in the school as well, and getting to know the culture and going all around to see all the landmarks, the Borobudur and the Prambanan, and yeah, it was really fantastic. So
Well,
love Indonesia forever.
Can you speak Bahasa?
Pretty much not, but sedikit.
Sedikit. Oh.
Yeah. I was a teacher at the time, so I could say things like saya guru.
Ah.
Yeah. Things like that, but only very little bit. I see a few people still here. Are there any other questions, or anyone wants to share where they're from maybe? It's always good to know where everyone else is from. I see Irma, Chatrina, and Sahira. Could all be Indonesian names, but Who knows?
So, and maybe this is not about Tilburg University, but what is your favorite food in from Indonesia? Indonesian's favorite food?
I I really like the satay,
Oh, satay. Yeah, I really like that.
especially satay kambing.
Oh, yeah.
It's so lovely. Yeah. It actually became very popular in the Netherlands as well. So compared to other European countries, you can find a lot of Indonesian food in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Yeah, I also like sate kambing, but for me, sate ayam is the best. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicken is always good, of course.
Yeah, chicken.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, ayam.
It's nice. This is bringing back all my Indonesian words that I learned. I remember also seeing the little stalls along the road and it said, bakmi, bakmi. And then we realized that the K is silent, so it's bami. It's really funny. Yeah. So how is the event going so far, you think, Aisha?
Oh, wait, what?
You think this is a success so far? Lots of students still in attendance?
Yeah. Um,
Are you also based in Jakarta, Aisha?
no, I'm from Bogor, like Inti.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I've been to Bogor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Bogor? Have you been to what is Bogor Botanical Garden? Have you been there?
I was gonna say, is Bogor where there's the botanical garden?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bogor is a bit smaller, right?
Yeah, it's smaller than Jakarta.
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I went to Bogor on like my third day in Indonesia or something because I landed in Jakarta and then I went to Bogor with my friend for 2 or 3 days and then we traveled on to Bandung and then to Jogja slowly. We also went to Pangandaran in the meantime. But I was still a little bit homesick, so I wasn't fully experiencing Bogor the way I should, I think. But I remember also we went to see a waterfall.
Oh, waterfall. Yeah, there's so many waterfall in Bogor actually.
Nice. Oh, I see someone new just entered, Joshua.
Oh, hi.
Hi, welcome. We were just chatting a little bit because everyone was a bit quiet. So if you have questions, the floor is all yours. Feel free to ask.
Hey, thank you. I just joined, so I'm still getting the hang of the situation.
Makes sense.
And
yeah.
Is the presentation already finished or?
Well, I'm kind of going by question and answer. So I have a slide, which hopefully you can see actually. I don't know if I'm still screen sharing. Yes, looks like I am. So you can get an idea of the university, like what are the key elements of the university, what are the fields. And then if there's specific things you want me to talk about, you can just ask them or pop them in the chat. The same goes, I see Lintang also just joined. Welcome in the breakout room. So feel free to have a look at the slide and ask your questions that you're interested in.
I see. So I mentioned there's a data science program in this university. Can you tell me more about the program, about the data science program?
Are you looking for, because we have a bachelor and also 2 or 3 masters in the field of data science. So are you looking for a bachelor or master? Master. Okay. So in the field of, on the master level, we have 3 programs that are related to data science. We have data science and entrepreneurship, which is a 2-year master program we offer jointly with Eindhoven University of Technology. And this program is actually taught in a 3rd city in Den Bosch. So it's outside of Eindhoven and outside of Tilburg. And we jointly offer this program. And the focus is really on applying data science to business related and entrepreneurship related questions. It also requires a background in something related to mathematics and engineering as well in order to be accepted. Then we have our master's program, Business Analytics and Operations Research, which is also a data science program, but really focused to business analytics. So using data science and mathematics in business analytics. And that's only a 1-year program. And then we also have data science and society, which is a bit more aimed at people who want to get into data science, but who don't necessarily have a data science background. So if you come from business or marketing or other types of backgrounds, you could consider data science and society as a really nice way to transition into that field.
I see. So most of the, I think all of the program is around 1 to 2 years.
Yes, most of Tilburg University's master's programs are 1 year in length because the standard for business, economics, law, and social sciences is 1-year masters. But in engineering, the standard is 2 years. And because data science and entrepreneurship is a joint degree with Eindhoven, that's why that one is 2 years.
I see. Other than that, does Tilburg have its own scholarship program?
We do have a few scholarships available. It's actually the best place to get that information is from tilburguniversity.edu/scholarships. So here on the slide, you already see a link, tilburguniversity.edu/keep-in-touch. So if you go to Keep in Touch, by the way, that's our link to sign up for the newsletter. But if you replace Keep in Touch with scholarships, you can find a really clear overview of the different scholarships. And depending on your background and your nationality, the options differ a little bit. For example, there's the Holland Scholarship, which is a collaboration between the university and the Dutch government, which is available for Indonesian students. But if you are not Indonesian or I think Vietnamese or Chinese, then there are maybe other possibilities. So it depends a little bit on your background.
Okay. Okay, currently
Hope that
I'm
helps.
browsing through the website.
Okay, perfect. Feel free to browse around. We have another nice feature. If you go to tilburguniversity.edu/mybrochure, you can create your own online brochure and it generates a really helpful PDF, which you can then download and you can kind of pick all the programs you're interested in. I'll type it in the chat. There we go. If you copy that into your browser, it doesn't allow Control-C, but I discovered that if you select it and you right-click copy, then it does work. So,
I see. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have you ever been to the Netherlands?
Yes, once on a tour.
Oh, lovely. I guess you went to Amsterdam, maybe Rotterdam.
Yes, of course, Amsterdam. I think Amsterdam is a must visit.
Yeah, that's true.
If
Tilburg
you
is a
went,
lot smaller. Sorry?
if you went to Netherlands, I think everyone will visit Amsterdam first.
Yeah, probably. And you also fly into Schiphol Airport, so it's the first stop basically, and it's the largest city. Did you also go to the Keukenhof with all the tulips and stuff?
I'm sorry,
Did you go to the Keukenhof, which is where the fields of tulips are?
Oh, no. We didn't have the time to visit. So we just passed around for a day.
And then went to another European city.
Yes.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to see. So it's, I see that a lot of people do that, and it totally makes sense because you have limited time, of course. I think we're almost about to finish. Is that correct, Aisha?
The 1 minute left, actually. Oh no, it's 4:30.
Oh.
Maybe we can go back to the main room.
Yeah, I don't know if they will close the breakout rooms or something else will happen. I don't know if there's any last things you want to discuss, Joshua, or anyone else in the room. Now is the time because we have to finish soon.
I see. Other than the fields listed in the slide, is there any engineering, more specifically electrical engineering program in Tilburg?
We don't have any engineering, I'm afraid. I would recommend that you have a look at Eindhoven University of Technology. They're here today as well, but since we're finishing, I don't know if you'll have a chance to talk to them, but you can check out their website. They do have electrical engineering.
I see. Since every university is held in parallel, it's hard to keep track of every university.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's quite challenging. Actually, for those of you who are here, we've actually got a event coming up called Virtually Orange. It's more actually for bachelor students. So we have, but all Dutch universities are there and you can browse the different booths. So I'm just going to leave the link here. And you feel free to sign up for that one. That's free to attend. And I see that Sabina said, I heard that Tilburg University offer an English bachelor's program for law. Is that true? Yes, that is true. We have a global law program, which is a really fantastic transnational program where you learn all about the big legal systems in the world and how they're similar and different. And it prepares you for a transnational law. The link that I just shared, where you can sign up for a university fair that will take place next week, and you'll be able to talk to 30 different universities as well as to us.
I see. Is it specific for bachelor program, or is there also master in there?
The fair that I just shared is organized for bachelors, so it might be the case that you won't be able to find all the answers, but I know that my colleague who is here, Dennis, for Eindhoven University of Technology, will be there as well. So he will be able to answer your questions about masters as well, because I know he has the knowledge.
Thank you very much for the information, Mr.
You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna have to close soon. So Aisha, how does it work? Do the universities leave themselves, or are we going to be called back into the main room, or?
So you can go back to the main room, or maybe just leave this meeting room because we're done.
Okay. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks everyone for joining. It was really lovely to be here. I would love to stick around.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you for you too, and from all of participants.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is such a good experience for me.
Oh, great. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, normally I would love to stick around, but I have another appointment that I have to go to. So thank you, everyone. I hope today was useful, and I hope to see you at Virtually Orange. You're very welcome to be there.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
For you guys, you can go out, leave this meeting room, or maybe go to the main room. Thank you.
Bisa membantu?